So, in the novel of um, Anne Frank, um, she's a little girl that grows up in Germany, and they're Jews, her and her family. And as you can see in the beginning of the novel, her character is different. And first, you can see that she's more open and confident of who she is in some ways. And she's very cocky because in the beginning you can see how she talks about how guys like her and how she thinks they're pretty. But then she starts talking about other people. Like in one of the pages, she says, "ES talks so much, it isn't funny. She always touching your hair or fizzling with your buttons when she asks you something." So right here she's talking about like how annoying people are, and she's not afraid to express like rather she likes a person or not. And then later on towards the novel you can see that she starts being insecure about herself because another quote that she says is, "It seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the muse of a 13-year-old girl, schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing, and I have even greater needs to get all of the kind of things off my chest." So right here she's showing that she relies on her diary. Although her diary isn't a person, she thinks that her diary is the only thing she can rely on. And the diary is never going to judge her. The diary is always going to be there. And she could just take off whatever she feels and she could just write it down, and the diary is never going to say anything. Because let's say we were to tell people stuff. Of course, people have an opinion. People are going to say something. But the diary isn't like that. And later on, you can see how they start, the Nazis, how they start discriminating the Jews. Like when the Jews had to wear a yellow star and they were forbidden to visit Christians in their homes. They're required to attend Jewish schools, and they're required to turn in their bikes, and they had to get rid of their businesses that they had. So it's like they couldn't even have a normal life compared to how we have our life now. They had rules that they had to follow, and then they didn't follow those rules, then they would even die. So it is showing the beginning of how the Jews were starting to be mistreated by the Germans. Freedom wasn't a choice for the Jews because they had no freedom or rights. And Anne, she also can see the difference between the family. Like they treat her like a little girl, and they think that her mindset is still like a little kid, unlike her sister. Her sister doesn't have that mindset. So they show more attention towards her sister more than anybody else. And her sister's allowed to read any type of book that she wants. So her family doesn't realize that sometimes they make Anne feel like she's less than Margaret. And when she isn't. And they think that her sister's more mature than she is. And that's when she's more able to read the books. And the struggle is that she's a little girl and she doesn't really have a childhood because she has to learn how to survive. She has to learn how to rely on herself. And every day she's just thinking rather if she's going to live or not. So as we start reading the novel, we're going to start seeing how her character starts changing and what happens towards the end of the book.